made by Mike Smith. I can't believe it. Darnell Nurse takes the lead. Deflected away harmlessly by Nurse. Caulfield managed to get to Tatar. He gave it away. Draisaitl stretch pass. McDavid the breakaway to win it. Wrist shot score. And Edmonton wins 4-3 in overtime. Rebound score. Sneaking down low, Tyson Barrie and Edmonton. Here's a one-timer score. Draisaitl set up by Darnell Nurse.
Ken Holland. Again, if you have questions, please use the raise hand function. And due to time restrictions, we will keep Ken's avail to 25 minutes or less. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will be live at 1 p.m. Mountain. We'll start with Reed Wilkins, 6:30 Ched.
Thanks, Sean. Hi, Ken. Ken, you wind up arriving at an 8-year deal. Can you kind of maybe take me through that term length, how you arrived at that? I mean, was there ever close to being perhaps a shorter term? I wonder if you can take us through that aspect of it.
This meeting is being recorded.
I mean, we started a long time ago. We started, Rick Follett and I met for the first time, I think it was in January of 20. And then obviously March, the pandemic hit, and then we really got at it in September, talked some in October, couldn't find a solution. Then we picked up again in February, decided to wait till the end of the year. I think that, for Nuge, term was important. He loves being an Oiler. He loves playing and living in Edmonton. He loves the fan base. He wants to play his entire career as an Edmonton Oiler. So certainly we had lots of conversations about term. And I think, to do a deal, I'm not going to get my term and my cap number. I had to decide on one of the two things. I look at the team now, and, you look at Connor at 24, Nuge 28, Leon 25, Darnell 26. We're obviously, the time is to try to win is now. I mean, these players are in the prime of their career. The cap's 81.5. Hopefully here, the back half of that, the contract, the cap starts to go north at least a little bit. So cap number was important to me. Term was important to Ryan and Rick Follett. And ultimately, I got a cap number that I was pleased with, and they got a term that they were pleased with.
And ultimately, how do you see Nugent-Hopkins' role on the team moving forward? He's mostly been a center, but he's played a ton of wing over the last 2 seasons. He's on every special team situation. I mean, how do you ultimately think he's going to define himself in the game?
Well, I think that's the beauty of Nuge. I think he can play left wing and he can play center. And I think, there's been lots of talk. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to, one of the things that this contract has done, on any negotiation of a player of Nuge's importance and Nuge's stock in the company, stock in terms of his, his role, how long he's been here. I try to walk the player and the agent through what I'm trying to accomplish. So certainly, we're trying to get deeper. We've got to get a little bit deeper. And, so as I go through the process between now and September of whatever moves we make, then we get to training camp, and then it's going to be up to, the coaching staff, Dave Tippett and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, to decide if we're best served with him in left wing, or if we're best served with him in the middle. And I think that's the beauty of not only Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, of Leon Draisaitl. Leon can play left wing with Connor. Leon can go on center another line. Nuge can play left wing with Connor. Nuge can play left wing with Leon. They give us lots of flexibility. So exactly where Nuge fits, that's going to be up to Dave Tippett in seeing how everything fits once we make whatever moves we make this summer.
Ryan Rishaug, TSN.
Ken, right in the middle of this negotiation, we had these unprecedented times take place where, you end up with a flat cap, you end up heading into last year's free agency where you don't know where the market's going to be. How much did external factors get in the way and complicate this negotiation, and is that part of why it took the time it did?
Oh, it was massive. I think you know, I mean, when you go into these negotiations, you know, you look at comparables. I mean, I think, you know, everybody wants to be treated, you know, compensated, you know, I'm going to use the word fairly or equitable. And you know, it's always about comparables. And then obviously then there's leverage built into negotiations. Are you an unrestricted free agent? Are you a restricted free agent? What's your ARB case? You know, and all those factors go into the negotiation. So, you know, when we first met, you know, Rick Follett and I can remember it was over at JW Marriott. I hadn't done any deals with Rick in the past. So we spent, he flew into town and we spent almost 3 hours over at the JW Marriott just sitting and talking and getting to know one another. And, you know, it was, and then March, we had a pandemic. And then obviously you go to October and the marketplace was lower than it was before. And then you come out, so it's made it a very difficult negotiation. And I think probably if there wasn't a pandemic, the cap wouldn't be 81.5. The cap would be, I think when I went to the managers meeting that year in March, they were talking the cap was going to be around $85 million, and you're projecting that the cap is going to go 85. You know, 90, 95, or 85, 88, 92, but it's gonna go north, and all of a sudden you've got a cap that's 81.5 last year and 81.5. So, you know, had there not have been a pandemic, these would be way different numbers. And I think that obviously was a big factor in why it took Rick Follett and I. You know, I mean, we really got at it in earnest in September. So it's September, October, November, December. You know, took us 9 months to find a solution.
This is obviously a big piece that you can slot in now on that side. It's done. There's still some other space over there on that left wing in that top six. Can you describe or give us a sense of the type of playing style you would love to insert there if you could?
Well, I mean, you're looking to upgrade your skill. You know, you watch these games. You know, watched last night Montreal and Tampa Bay, and I mean, I was fortunate to be in the finals 6 times. I mean, you need deep teams, you need depth, you need grit. You know, so all of the above. You know, so those are the types of things that we're looking at. Want to upgrade our skill level. We're trying to get a little deeper with skill level. You know, we talked at the end of the year about trying to get a little more depth of scoring. That's skill, but you're also, you know, you want gritty people. You know, especially come playoff time. Well, you know, if you're looking to upgrade your skill and you're looking to add grit, you know, those players don't become available very often. If they do, there's lots of teams after them. So sometimes it's about money, sometimes it's about where they want to play and who they're playing with. But I think we'd like to get deeper. I know we want to get a little bit deeper, and you know, a little bit better. And I think I said to you at the year-end exit interview, you know, part of that's internal. Part of that has to be some of the young people that are on our team just take another step. It's not all external, but some of us getting better is me going outside the organization and making a move or 2 or 3 to make us better. But also some of the evolution of our team has to be from players inside getting better, and then a push from young players over the course of the season. If they don't make our team early in the year, they're pushing by the end. They come up by the end of the year.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
A couple of things, Ken. Free agency is always a tough go. Is it easier just to sign your own player because you know your own player better than anybody else out in the market, even if they might have lots going for them?
Well, yeah, I would say so. You know, Jim, free agency is, you know, there's 32 teams that are working the phones on July the 28th. You know, there's a limited number of players. I mean, there's lots of players, but you know, players of Nugent's ability, you know, there's not a lot of top six forwards. You know, Nuge was drafted by the Oilers. You know, he's from Vancouver. He played junior in Red Deer. You know, he's got, I believe his wife is from Red Deer. He's a Western Canadian. He loves playing. He loves living in Western Canada. He loves playing in Western Canada. He enjoys his role on the team. He's really respected and has lots of good friends in the locker room. You know, he's part of the core. You know, so to not find a solution to let Ryan Nugent-Hopkins go to market and sign elsewhere, I've got to find all those things. And, you know, I got to find someone that's a top six forward and somebody that, you know, can play left wing and play center. He gives us, you know, all the things that Nuge brings to our team. You know, he wants to be in Edmonton and you know, so yeah, the answer is absolutely a resounding yes. You know, but at the same time, as we were going through the negotiation, and again, it was on again, off again. We went for a little bit September and October, and then we couldn't until middle of October, couldn't find a solution, and we kind of, we started again in the middle of February, and we went for about middle of February till the end of March, early April, and then decided we were going to wait till the end of the season. So, you know, it was important. Certainly, it's you know, Ryan's 28. You know, he might sign other contracts, but certainly this is his last significant contract. So it's an important contract for him and his family. And it was an important contract, you know, to the Edmonton Oilers because of his importance to the team. And certainly we're in a cap world, and it's a flat cap, you know, this year, and who knows how much it's going to go up the next year or two. So that's why I had said earlier to Reed Wilkins' question is the cap was an important to me when you look at the core of the team, and there's give and take, and the next 4 or 5 years are really important years. You know, this is the prime years of lots of players on this team. And this contract was negotiated because, as you said, I know Nuge, he knows us, he likes being an Oiler. I know what he can bring to the team, and we found a solution that made him comfortable, and a solution that made us comfortable. That's why we're here today.
And I presume now with Nugent-Hopkins signed, you are protecting 7 forwards and 3 defensemen?
Correct.
In the expansion draft?
That's correct.
Correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Jack Michael, 630 Chad.
Ken, just to follow up a little bit about what you were just talking about, with a flat cap and just in general in today's NHL, you wouldn't think there's much room for sentimentality, but is there still value in having a guy, as you suggested, with 10 years in the community already, thought well of by his teammates and the community as a whole? Is there still real value in that, and does that come up in negotiations?
Well, I don't think I can make deals on sentimentality. I think, you know, I think at the end of, I think as we sit here today, and I'm not sure where you're going with your question. I think as we sit here today, I think if Ryan goes to market on July the 28th, I have no doubt, I'm telling you, in my mind, he's getting a cap north of what he got today. How far north? You got to get to market. So, you know. So he's giving there. He wanted to be an Oiler. He wanted to be an Oiler. He wants to be an Oiler. He loves being an Oiler. He loves living here. He wants to be an Oiler his entire career. That's important. That's important to him. Now, I'm not going to. So at the end of the day, you know, now He's got great hockey sense. He's really smart. He's very poised with the puck. He's got attributes to his game that'll never. When he's 60 years old, he's playing old timers. He's gonna have hockey sense, and he's gonna have hands, and he's gonna be smart. And he's gonna be poised, and he's not gonna turn the puck over, and he's gonna be. Those are all things. So. You know, I think at the end of the day, when you strike, you know, then you project 8 years out, well, 6 years out, 7 years out, where's the cap? I think the cap is going to go north. I believe the cap is going to go north to some degree. Nobody knows because of, we were trying to speculate on the economy, and you're trying to speculate on the future. So, you know, as we sit here in a negotiation, we're trying to find, Ryan and Rick Follett, Ken Holland and the Edmonton Oilers are trying to find a solution that works for everybody. It's not based upon sentimentality. It's based upon trying to put the best team that we can on the ice for 21-22, 22-23, 23-24, 24-25, and forward. And if we'd have lost Nuge, it would have been a massive loss. You know, for all the reasons we've just talked about here, his versatility, he can play center, he can play left wing, his leadership in the locker room, he can kill penalties, he can play left wing, he can play center, he thinks at a high level. So it's not about sentimentality, it's about trying to win. And no contract's perfect. No contract's perfect. You know, it's easy to look back, you know, going forward, you know, like I said, I'm sure Ryan would like to have a bigger cap number, and I'd like to have less term. But at the end of the day, this is a deal that Ryan felt good about. This is a deal that I felt good about, and we're trying to put the best team that we can on the ice for 21-22. And then when the summer comes next summer, we'll be doing the same thing again for 22-23, and you know. We'll see where it goes, but it's about trying to win. It's about trying to put the very best team that we can on the ice for the next while. And we are a much better team with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on the team.
Ken, thank you. And considering where you started in terms of that first conversation with Rick Follett, both in term and dollar figure, the length of time and undoubtedly the vacillations between where you guys were at the start and where you finished, is it safe to say that with all your experience, this is one of the more unique deals you've ever done and will ever do?
Yeah, maybe the most unique to this point in time, yes. I mean, the pandemic changed everything, Reed. I mean, I think I'm talking to Reed, but I mean, you know, we started the negotiation pre-pandemic, and then, you know, and then, you know, we've played a season in there, obviously a 56-game season. We finished up, we had a bubble, you know, we had a bubble playoff in August. So this is the most unique contract negotiation that personally I have ever been through.
Last question, Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Just a couple of things. How are things going with the negotiations with Adam Larsson?
We're still talking. We'll see. Obviously, I would like to re-sign him. Obviously, Adam's an unrestricted free agent, much like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. You know, anytime you're an unrestricted free agent, these are big decisions. So I'd like to re-sign Adam Larsson, but I know that he's going through a process to decide exactly what he wants to do.
And one other thing, as a general manager, if you just had Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to do and see Adam Larsson to sign, it would be a lot easier than looking at your roster and saying, okay, I've got a hole here, I've got a hole here, I've got a hole here, I got a hole here. So you have lots of balls in the air. So this isn't, you know, well, you know what, you're just trying to sign one guy.
Yeah, but you know what, Jim, I guess I would say that was sort of by design. You know, if you looked at it, you know, a year ago, you know, I knew Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was coming up the last year. I knew, you know, Adam Larsson. You know, we signed Tyson Barrie to a one-year deal. I signed a bunch of players to a one-year deal. So, you know, I think it was we're trying to, I came here the year before I got here, they finished 28th overall, and then we finished 12th overall. But, we finished 12th overall with the #1 power play and the #2 penalty killing. And, so that we made some moves, and, now it gave me the flexibility, I guess, to have another year to evaluate our team, to see where we're at. And, we had a good year. I thought we made strides we went from 12th overall to 11th overall, but it's only one move, but we backed up a 12th overall with an 11th overall. So it was 2 years in a row where we had pretty good years. We know we've got work to do. I know we got work to do. We want to get better. We've got aspirations to be better than that. So I knew that over the course of this past season, I could evaluate the team, and if we needed to go and do some different things, then we were positioned that we could do different things. But certainly, when you looked at the way we played and the players that played, today we're announcing Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Hopefully, we can have a little more of that here in the next month, because we played good. Now I know we got to get better, but we had some. We finished second in the North. We tied Washington for the best road record in the National Hockey League. We heard all this. We played good. So because of, by design, a year ago, of having the flexibility of going in one direction or the other, certainly that's going to lead to a busy off season.
Time for one quick one from Ryan Rishaug.
Yeah, last one for me. Thanks, Ken and
Yeah.
Sean. Ken, is there any more clarity on the situation moving forward with Oscar Klefbom, or do you have to assume that you're going to be in the market for somebody to play, on that second pairing on the left side?
I talked to JP Barry today, his agent, told him I wanted to reach, we got to get a conference call going with Clef. He said he hadn't talked to Clef in a couple of weeks, so he wasn't really totally up to speed where he's at. So I plan, in the next 10 days to connect with Clef and JP Barry and get, Clef telling me exactly what he's thinking and where he's feeling and how he's feeling. So I don't know at this stage of the game, but I will know in the next 10 days.
Thank you. This concludes Ken Holland's media availability. Please use the link in the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins press release to join that availability separately. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
Deflected away harmlessly by Nurse. Caulfield managed to get to Tatar. He gave it away. Draisaitl stretch pass. McDavid the breakaway to win it. Wrist shot, score! And Edmonton wins 4-3 in overtime. score. Sneaking down low, Tyson Barrie and Edmonton back. Here's a one-timer score. Draisaitl set up by Darnell Nurse.
it was just about finding the right way to do it, and just very happy to be able to have done it. And that was just, like I said, it was just always my goal to be able to stay, and happy to be able to.
Daniel Nugent-Bowman, The Athletic.
Ryan, you said you wanted to be an Oiler, and this is obviously a very big day for you. But having said that, I mean, you've been with this team and in the league for 10 years, and you're a month away from being able to see kind of what else was out there, see if the grass was greener. How much did that kind of play into your mind? What kind of lure was out there, do you think, of trying to test the open market?
Well, I mean, obviously I knew that I was unrestricted and I could, but if we were able to work something out with Edmonton before that even came, then that's what I wanted to do. And so, I mean, I thought, obviously you think about it because you have some freedom at this point to kind of explore things, but I didn't think of it in the stance where that's what I wanted to do. I just knew it was an option, but I mean, like I said, it was just overall my whole mindset about it was trying to find a way to stay in Edmonton. Did you need
the no movement clause to sign the contract? Was that a primary need for you?
Well, I think it was an important piece. Obviously, signing an 8-year deal, you want to be protected, and you want to have that assurance from the club that they won't just turn around and send you somewhere else. So that was important to me, and happy that we were able to work that out.
Ryan Rishaug, TSN.
Hey, Ryan, congratulations. Ken Holland just told us that this is one of the most unique and difficult negotiations he's ever been through in his long career. I think that's just given to, the flat cap and COVID and the financial landscape shifting all around you. Was this a bit of an eye-opener for you too in some ways? You've got a great relationship with the organization, but it can get rocky at times too. Was it an eye-opener in that way? Well, I mean,
It was my first hard negotiation like this for sure. I think last time I signed, it was the cap was going up. We had a young group, and I was very fortunate to sign the deal that I did sign, my first coming out at entry level. So yeah, I mean, just with COVID happening, with the flat cap coming in place, obviously it was going to be, and you're seeing it with other free agents now too, and it's a little bit longer process, a little bit more negotiation. So I mean, it took its time to get there, but definitely excited to be able to stay. You talked about all the connections that you have, and I imagine there's a lot on the personal side as well. I imagine it's a lot to process. Could you be picking up your entire life and moving somewhere else to a new reality of some sort? Do you think that this weighed on you at all during the year, just not having this settled and playing through your contract year like this? I mean, it was there in the back of my mind. I tried to stay positive and focus as much on hockey as I could, and I felt overall I did a pretty good job of doing that. But at the same time, I mean, everybody going through this, I mean, you're bound to think about it, whether it has an effect or not. You try not to let it. Obviously, it's not an excuse for anything. I mean, it's just it's the way it is. Lots of guys go through this. I'm not the first at all. So I mean, it's just part of the business. And the only thing was that it was kind of my first experience going through a negotiation quite like this. So I don't know if it really affected how I went out and played. I tried not to let it to, and tried to just focus on playing my best every night.
This meeting is being recorded.
Sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
I think that was my two, Sean. Someone
Okay,
else can...
all good. Reed Wilkins, 630 Chad.
Thanks, Sean. Hi, Ryan. Congratulations on the contract. You came into the league 10 years ago. You were a #1 pick, so you're always getting a lot of attention, and your game's always being analyzed. And throughout the last decade, you've been honest too about things you wanted to work on and improve. And I know you're far from done and you want more points and more wins, but Ken Holland said today, that's the beauty of Nuge, that you can play left wing, you can play center, you can play on the power play, you can kill penalties, and you're a good leader and all those important things. When you look at the journey, what does it mean now to hear yourself described that way and thought of that way?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's obviously when your GM is saying those things, it's nice to hear. I mean, I want to establish myself as a good two-way player in this league, and be versatile. And I mean, Edmonton has given me a lot of opportunity to do that. So yeah, I mean, 10 years ago, you never know. Obviously, it's how your career is going to end up. But I mean, I'm happy where I am right now, and just yeah, I'm just excited to be able to stay and keep winning or get winning here. And I mean, being on a winning team is a lot of fun. And despite not having a ton of success in the playoffs yet, you can feel it coming in this group. And we were hungry. It was a disappointing end of the season for sure. That goes without saying. But overall, I think after the year that we had and a little weird year, I mean, I think we should be proud of the way that we played. I mean, we were one goal away in each game, and that's kind of in playoffs, and that's kind of the way it went this year for us. But I want to be a part of this team when we start winning and making those long runs and big pushes in the playoffs.
Thanks, Ryan. That's all for me, Sean.
Gene Principe, Sportsnet.
Hi, hey Ryan. I'll just add to the congratulations on your new deal. In listening to Ken, he said that the first time I think he met with your agent Rick was January of 2020, and here we are, almost July of 2021. So it's almost like a year and a half with lots going on. Was it easy for you to be patient, understanding it would get done, or what was kind of going through your mind over the last, I guess, almost 18 months in order to get what you wanted, which was a good deal for you and what turned into a good deal for the Oilers as well?
Well, yeah, I mean, I told myself to be patient. Obviously, we did start talking a while ago, but just given the circumstance of the season and what was going on with COVID and whatnot, I knew that it was going to be a little bit of a longer process, and I was willing to wait if I had to. But and obviously, you start talking in a year ago. So, I mean, I still had some time to free agency, so there was no real rush. But now, obviously, it's a weight off the shoulders. I'm happy to be able to have it done and just focus on winning now.
And just to follow up, are you able to kind of describe both on the ice and off the ice why Edmonton, the Oilers, the city just has been, literally a great fit for you from day one when you were drafted number one?
Well, I mean, as far as the fans go, I mean, it's a passionate city about their team. They love the team. They're always there to support. Even my first few years when we were struggling, we were at the bottom of the league. They were still there every night, and I mean, obviously, for the most part, staying positive, and that makes it fun to go out there every night and play in front of those fans. And it's just I think I've been really lucky that the way the fans have treated me, the way the organization's treated me through the years, and definitely honored to be a part of this team.
Jack Michael, 630 Chad.
Ryan, everything's changed for a lot of us the last 15 and a half months. I'm wondering whether the pandemic itself changed how you viewed the possibility of unrestricted free agency. Did it alter your priority list? Did it redefine at all what was important? Did the pandemic have anything to do with where we are today?
You know what? I don't think it affected it too much. I always had the same goal in my mind, was to stay in Edmonton, and that was before the pandemic. That was and now here we are. So I mean, it's obviously it's changed a lot the way that the seasons have gone the past couple of years. But overall, my mindset has always been to be able to stay in Edmonton and make something work and help the team out to start to win and make those long pushes. And so I think overall it didn't change that mindset too much.
Paul Gazzolo, Oilers TV.
Hey Ryan, congrats. Obviously, the Oilers organization has no shortage of legends to play, but this season you entered the top 10 in all-time Oilers scoring. You're on the cusp of doing so in another bunch of categories. I know winning a championship is first and foremost for you, but what do all those little accomplishments mean to you?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely an honor to be up there with some of those some of the greatest players to ever play the game. So obviously, like you said, I mean the main goal is always to win a cup and be a championship team in Edmonton. But I mean, playing 10 years there now. I'm lucky enough to play with some really good players and some great players, and to be able to help me to be in the top 10 or in points or whatever. But I mean, like you said, overall, it's just the goal has always been to win a cup and become a championship team.
Any other questions, media? Thank you. If there are no more questions, this includes Ryan Nugent-Hopkins media availability. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks.